Blessings crew, and welcome to this week's offering. And just starting with that little bit of awareness of how you're feeling, what's going on around you, how your body's feeling. I've just been teaching a little bit about grounding and centering, and so that's going to influence class this week. And what do we mean by that? And some of the time it's grounding, feeling like we're connected to our body first and then to the ground in our environment. And by that we mean kind of being, rather than scattered and distracted, coming inwards. Being able to feel and sense what's going on for ourselves so that the things around us don't throw us off kilter so much. And that's that centering aspect. We're kind of centered. Being self-centered has got some different meanings, but in this sense it's being centered in the self so that we're more able to then interact with our environment, with people. We know how full our cup is or how empty. What are we going to do to fill it up? What have we got to give? Where are we at with that? And so all of that happens when we sit down on the yoga mat, because that's what we bring to our practice and what we bring into our experience of the yoga. We might be trying to come into more of a centre and get more grounded. We might be needing to fill our cup. We might not have much energy, so we're trying to generate that energy. And perhaps we're needing more of the restful side or more of the stronger side to give that energy a boost. And so it all kind of impacts how you experience your practice. So starting there, checking in. How am I feeling? What's going on? So maybe close your eyes, maybe soften your gaze. Maybe put a hand, heart, hand, belly. Just going to get in touch with your body. Noticing what's going on. Come into your experience of the breath. And as you breathe in, feel like you're drawing that energy around you, creating this beautiful space to practice within. You might draw your awareness to some aches and pains. Maybe there's some parts of you that would like to move. You need to shift some energy in, some tension in. You might want to move a little bit and wriggle a little bit. Think about your connection to the earth, to the land underneath you. Have you connected? Have you sat outside? Have you listened to the birds? And what season is it for you? What does that mean for the plants around you? Connecting ourselves up. Where's the moon? We're going to blink our eyes open. We're going to check, are we comfortable? Do we need something under our seat? Open cross-legged, or maybe legs out a little wider. I'm going to circle ourselves around just slowly. And this can also give us a really good handle on what's happening in our body, because we're moving around our hips, our lower back, our spine. So the whole upper body just rolling around. And we're going to change direction, go around the other way. Bringing it slowly around that last one. And back up to seated. And these early moves as we bring our feet into Baddha Konasana give us a little bit of an idea of how our mind is, because if the slowness of the movement makes you go, I need to go faster, I need to go faster, I need to go, it generally means that we need to go the opposite way. So just going slow, it doesn't mean we don't go deep into something, it just means that we're slower. So we're circling again, just this time a different shape, going gently. Try not to slouch, so try and get the spine nice and straight and long. Change direction. Give your body the gift of that slowness, especially if it's used to going at speed. Bring it back to center. Let's lift up along the spine. We can come forward if there's some room, or just sit into wherever feels enough, and that real kind of sensing in your body, what's enough in your practice, what's enough stretch, what's enough movement. And then sitting yourself up, we're going to take our legs out in front, give them a little shake. We're going to take our arms alongside the body, so we might be fingertips or palms down or knuckles. And just roll shoulders down, Dandasana, so quite strong. In its own way, feel like the crown of the head's just drawing upwards. The least strain in your body, so that's strength, softness, meditation. Find your breath. I'm going to inhale, bring the arms up, and then that right hand is coming over, looking up under that left arm. Really lift that left side of the body up. Inhale, come up. Exhale, take it the other side. Inhale, lift. Right hand's going to go behind us, up through the front of the body. Fingers pointing away on that right hand, so we're feeling that shoulder space open up. Changing side. And lifting it back to center, gently down along the front, along these legs. So still warming up, team. So depending on what you did before you arrived on your yoga mat, is being a little bit gentle when we do these forward fold ones at the start. Sometimes people are like, oh, I'm not warm enough yet. So just be gentle. Bend the knees a little bit, just like we would if we were standing. Easing up. Back into cross-legged, team. And we're going to take our right hand across to that left knee. Bring this left hand around behind you and turn into the twist, looking over that shoulder. Open the eyes nice and wide, look as far around over that shoulder as we can. changing size, just slow coming round. Bring it back to centre. And just notice, just give these shoulders a little bit of movement. We're going to take our arms up and then out nice and wide, reaching out fingertip to fingertip, and then turning the palms up, bring those fingertips onto the shoulders. Let's roll some nice big circles into those shoulders. Change direction, take it round the other way. And bring those arms down. Feel that in your shoulders, give them a nice shake. Take ourselves back into Dandasana. So legs out in front, hands alongside the body. Sometimes our arms feel a little bit longer after those movements, so just check that out. Find your breath. Find that long spine. Notice the breath. Feel that sense of grounding down, so feel the energy down into the earth, maybe up from the earth to you, if that's part of your practice. We're going to come around onto all fours, so bring your body around. Cat-cow pose first, so just inhaling, bringing the chest forward. Exhaling, spine up towards the roof, chin tucking in, and back the other way. And just keep that movement going. It can be gentle, it can be strong. One more, just arching it up. Let's bring our knees out to the edge of the mat, big toes together. Pulling it back, bring that right arm underneath that left. Turn and look along it. Then taking that left arm, if you've got some room, reaching it up towards the roof. Following it with your eyes. Then left armpit reaches back out, unravel. And slowly across into the twist. Left under right, looking along that left shoulder. Nice deep, deep breath. Then right arm lifts out towards the roof. Stretches back out in front. Both arms out in front. No, Monty. And forearms off the floor. Wander those arms away. Pull the hips back towards the heels. Stretch it out. Heart towards the floor. Then wandering the hands in, just slow. Toes tuck under. Up into cow hoo pose, so just come up slow. Heels together. Oi, Auntie. Oi. What's he doing? What's he doing? We can get our balance or we can keep our fingers to the floor. We can check out what our dog's doing under the kitchen table. You doing? Oh, you're going to sit there. Okay. We're going to notice if we've got our balance. We're going to bring our arms up just slow. Reaching up into that space. And then out. Reaching around, touching our fingertips around behind us. And then reaching up. Notice the turn of the shoulders. Just as we start to get that movement happening. And then we're going to come into a standing forward fold too. So move the feet as you come up so there's some room. So under the hips, maybe a little bit wider. Soften those knees, let the head drop down. Forearms onto thighs, tailbone heads back behind us, head lifts. So into a half chair, we can take our hands up to our heart if we want to make it just a little bit more warming. Breathing into that space and then lifting our way up slowly to standing. Look after blood pressure. Whew. Okay. Noticing feet too. So scrunch up our toes, scrunch up our fingers, and come up onto the ball of the foot and give it a little massage into the floor. And coming down from there, find again that nice comfortable stance for your feet and your hips. Then we're going to inhale, bring our arms up. Linking our fingers, reaching up through the body. So untighten those knees if we just lock them up. Glutes are there to support, but they're not really tight. Lifting up along the spine. And our hands are going to go down behind the back of our neck. Keep that lift going. Back bend crew, go gently if this turns you into a back bend. No compression in that lower back team. Lifting it up through the arms, back down. Come around to the halfway mark with the upper body. So upper body parallel with the floor. Fingertips just below the knees, somewhere along the shins. Lengthen out. Then slowly down. Just rolling round into that forward fold. If your arms feel alright, reach around, make your fingers, reach them up towards the roof.
we're walking into a plank depending on where you landed on your yoga mat. Find your way to plank. We can bring knees down if we need to, otherwise heels pressing back, long spine, long line from crown of the head to the heels. Then up into down dog, just slow, hips lifting, lengthen along the spine. Again, we can come into frog pose when we need to. Coming forwards, left knee comes down, right foot comes forward, low lunge, up with the upper body, slowly up with the arms, bring the hands around, just drop them down the back of the neck, come forward and lift the chest just enough, so find that enough point, no strain, especially in that lower back. Make sure the hips are around towards the front of the mat. Stronger than it looks, team. Come forward, come down slow. Bring the hands down. Wriggle out our right foot up into tiger's tail. So arching along the spine still, so we're still working with that back. So it's a little bit careful. And bring that knee down. We're either going into frog pose or back up into down dog. Bring it forward, meeting on all fours, and then left foot steps it forward. Checking in on that lower back as we come up. Make sure it feels nice and supported, nice and safe. Inhaling up. Hands dropping down the back of the neck. Just lifting into that space. Finding the enough point for you. Coming up slow, coming down into that space, wriggling out and up into tiger's tail. Knee comes down, knees come out to the edge of the mat, big toes towards each other. Let's pull back slow, easing our way forward and down. We can make it restful, or we can create that traction with our arms. Wandering in, bring those knees back in
alignment. Sit back on the feet if we can. Pop something under your between your thighs and your calf muscles if you need to. Feet flat this time too. We'll leave that nasty foot stretch out today. Shoulders drop down unless you love it, in which case be my guest. I'm just going to sit for a moment in the breath. Again, long spine. Feel the breath moving in your body. Just bring that focus into the breathing. We're going to wander forward. And we're going to take that right foot and step it up. This time coming into the high lunge. Okay, so toes tuck under behind us. Back heel presses back. We can be innie or outie with that right hand, right arm. Notice I end up on my fingertips. It's because my arm length, I can't quite get down into that hand. This length and that length and boo, but it all just gets tangled up. So just kind of make it your own. But also use blocks here, if we find that hard. Breathe. We're going to lift these hips, just slowly stretching into that front leg. Back heel working its way down. Bringing it forward, back into that high lunge, back heel working its way back. And anchor our left hand, just so there's enough room to put the twist in. This right arm is going to reach back towards the back of the mat and then up towards the roof. That top hand comes down slow. Let's lift into those hips again, so straightening out ish this front leg again. Stretch into it, just go slow. Hamstring crew, go gently. Coming down, bringing that left knee down, wriggle out this right foot. This time we can be in our normal down dog, or we can take that right foot up towards the roof, three-legged down dog. Keep the hips nice and square so we're not twisting. Foot comes down, normal down dog. We'll cut those legs a little bit. Come forward. Right knee comes down, left foot, steps it up. From low lunge up into high. And pressing back through that back heel. So right heel, stretching it out.
Start to lift the hips, straightening ish that front leg, stretching into it. Coming back down into that low lunge, anchoring through that right hand, reaching that left arm back towards the back of the mat and then up towards the roof. Top arm comes down and we start to lift again into those hips, into that front leg. Work with your breath. Coming forward, hands come down, stepping it back, and either that three-legged down dog, normal down dog, or frog pose team, just figure out where those energies are. Foot comes down, normal down dog. Then we're going to meet on all fours. And our little cobra alternative at the moment, team, knees come out towards the edge of the mat, big toes together. Wander the hands in. Roll the shoulders down, we're going to bring our chest forward. We're going to look up. Drop those shoulders down. Then forward we go, down into that frog pose. Then we're going to wander forward into our sleeping frog. So as we come forward, just naturally letting those hips come down and then those knees slide outwards until we're in our tummy. Take a pause there, just extend gently along that spine. So we're kind of on the inside top of our feet, but the pelvis has just gone into the floor a little bit. Going back the way we came, so lift the hips as they come back, slide those feet back in, walk it back out, and ease back down into that frog pose. We can stack our forearms. One more sleeping frog, wandering forward. Again, just as those hips come down, those legs, those lower legs will just naturally slide out to the side to round our tummy, extend gently up, like we would in Sphinx pose, team, or similar to Sphinx pose. Breathe. Then back the same way, so wander it in as we lift our hips, slide those feet back in. Walking
all the way up this time. Bring those knees back under. Oh, sitting back on the feet if we can. Rolling those shoulders down, give them a little bit of a wriggle. Let's check our neck. We're going to take our chin down towards the base of our throat. Roll the shoulders down. If you feel alright, link your hands around behind you. Roll those shoulders down. Release the hands. We're going to tip the chin up towards the roof. Bring it back to centre. We're going to look over our left shoulder as far as we can. Bring it back to centre. Look over our right shoulder as far as we can. And then bring it back to centre. Coming forward to all fours. Just noticing how your body's starting to feel by this point in class. We're going to take our right foot and step it back up. Tuck those back toes under on that left foot. And this time our heel is coming across the mat, coming up slowly, straight-legged, hips towards that left side of the mat. So we're facing around. We're going to stretch our arms out nice and wide, roll our shoulders down. Just feel into that. And just sink into this front knee, tucking that right hip underneath us as we go so that knee comes into alignment. Really stretch those arms out. Feel into that space. Let the arms come down. We're going to turn this front foot around, come around into a wide leg forward fold, just slow. We can bring our hands down, find that enough point, letting the head drop, letting the shoulders go. Coming up slow, looking up for stars. We're going to turn that left foot towards the back of the mat. Check your alignment, bring these arms out nice and strong. And then sink into that left knee, tucking that left hip under. Find your way back into that warrior pose. We're looking out over our left hand. Find your breath. Releasing the arms down, turning the foot, and again coming forward into that forward fold. Just come around slow, shoulders crew. We're reaching our arms around, linking the fingers, lifting up towards the roof again, let the head go. Let the arms come down. If you've had them up, we're coming round to this front foot. So back into that right foot, back into the high lunge. Back knee comes down. Wriggle out that right foot.
plank and down dog or back into frog pose. Lifting up through those hips, a long deep breath. Then we're coming forward, we're bringing the knees down. We're going to come around to seated. Soles of the feet together, back into that Baddha Konasana. Might feel slightly different now. Seeing how we feel about moving forward. Might be a little bit more movement there now. Just keep that spine nice and long. Yeah, we're lifting it up. So we had a little bit of a request, team. So this is a kind of 3 stages version of a plough pose. So, and it's 3 stages because not everybody can do plough. Okay, so if you've ever had a whiplash or any kind of injury like that, ploughs are no, because of where that pressure can end up on the spine. Plough can also be incredibly uncomfortable for belly and boobs, and you know, we can just not feel like we can get into the shape. And some of the time that's because we have to really be able to lift our hips up, and because that lifts everything. Other times it's just that it's really jinkin uncomfortable, so don't just do the part version or our Viparita Karani, the first stage. So what we're going to do is lie ourselves down. I'm going to lie that way so you can see a bit better and try not to end up landing on Monty. I can't do a very big plough at the moment either, so my legs aren't going to get over that way. So where we start though, team, is with our feet up in the air. And eventually with plough, as we bring our arms alongside the body, it looks like this, except the tip of your toes are on the floor. So your spine, the straightness of your spine, it's all about that. But let's start here. Let's kind of start with that breath. Long neck, so tuck the chin in, bring the head back down. Make sure the back of the neck's nice and long. Find your breathing. Wriggle your toes. I've got cold feet today. And so this might be plenty, team. But we can also do a little halfway mark. It's almost a half shoulder stand and a half plough combined. I sometimes used to call it playing catch in the studio, because to get there we kind of need to roll along the spine a little bit. So we're going to lift, bring our legs down, we're going to lift our chin, take hold of behind your legs. And again, this shape here might be enough, especially because it's quite strong with the head. We don't want to throw our head backwards too, we're going to use our legs to roll up. And when we roll back, we're going to grab that lower back. Oh, hello, chair. So this is our half version. Cool, and you may or may not be able to do it. Just depends on what's going on in your body. But what it's helping us to do is realise it's all about lifting the hips to get into plough, not about those legs going over. This again might be plenty here, or you can start taking those legs over your head if you wish. If you've got a handy chair like I do, you can also walk your feet down the chair. But we want to keep those hips lifting up. long, slow movement in the body. Thanks, Munchie. Noticing your breath, team. Make sure you can still move your head really freely. Whichever shape you're making. Tickle my toes. Get tickles. Come on. And we're going to roll slowly down. Soles of the feet together. Knees drop out. Arms lift up towards the roof. And then over behind you, just Supta Baddha Konasana. Some of you that were part of the studio would have remembered walking down the wall with that one. So we can use a wall and have our legs up and over that way. That can be a really lovely way of practicing that straightness. So just there's all sorts of alternatives crew to those ones. There's a lovely pose for the spine. Resting in that breath for a moment. Then knees come back together, arms come out nice and wide. Let's lift our hips up and over to the left, taking those knees right into a twist, looking along that left arm. Bringing that slowly back to center. Bring the hips back to center. Then over to the right. And the knees go left, looking along that right arm. Back to center. Hips back to center. Feet back up towards the roof. Arms back alongside the body. Thumbs tucked in. Chin tucked in. And just breathe into that space. Now you'll notice that there's a little bit this week of us doing a few things twice. Plow is no different. You've given your spine a nice chance to recover. You might go, once was enough, I'm going to stay right here, or I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together and let my knees drop out. But if you're feeling okay, let's kind of rock ourselves into a second version of it. Let's see how you're feeling. If you're playing catch, play catch. Top the chair. And just noticing, what does it feel like the second time around? And then you can walk your feet over if you're feeling okay. Long deep breath, lifting up through those hips. So most important bit is getting that hip lift up. Rolling slowly down. If you've been there, back into Supta Baddha Konasana, so soles of the feet together. Knees drop our arms, reach over our head. Find your breath. We're noticing what's going on in your body over this last kind of 50 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to just bring our hands onto our belly, and we can tuck our feet back in, we can leave them where they are, just notice what feels good. And come into the sensations of the breath. So just noticing how the breath is moving. Noticing the points of your body that are touching the floor. Feeling how when you breathe in, some of them change pressure. So kind of pushing ourselves into the floor on the inhale. On the exhale, we're relaxing into the floor. So inhale puts a little bit of pressure downwards. Exhale releases us down into that pressure. We're noticing. Let's bring our focus to our toes. Give them a wriggle. Bring that awareness to your ankles, your heels, your calf muscle, your shin. Hop from leg to leg in terms of awareness. So go, what's the right shin feel like? What's the left shin feel like? About the right knee, the left knee, the right thigh, the left thigh. And then bring your awareness to your pelvis, lower back. Start to feel the breath, or notice or really become conscious of the breath, moving the pressure in your belly. Then bring that awareness up to the rib cage, the front, the sides, the back of the rib cage, the shoulders, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms of your hands. Got the right palm and then the left palm, right fingers, left fingers. Bring that awareness to the face, the air circulating. If you can breathe through your nose, through your sinuses. Let that tension flow out if you hold it in your jaw, around your eyes. Your scalp, your ears. Your body starting to come to rest. To make sure it feels comfortable. What's the word rest feel like in your body? Softening, sinking into it for a few minutes. You can make the traditional Shavasana shape or stay where you are.
you are continuing on to meditation, this might be where you pause or where you come up to seated with us and then pause. We're going to take 8 just slow conscious breaths just to bring the room back. Count yourself through slowly. And we're going to bring our arms up slowly towards the roof. Reach them out over your head, walk your feet up the mat if they're not already there, bring the knees together. I'm going to turn over onto the left side. Just come slowly up to seated into that beautiful space that you've created in your body and maybe in your mind. Sit for a moment just with a line from the crown of the head down through the center. Sparrows for accompaniment here. We're going to inhale, bring our arms up, gather in that beautiful energy, bring it to your heart space. And many blessings, everyone. Thank you for joining me and continuing to support these. It's appreciated.